What's up, guys? Dave with Miracle Canine Training again, out here with Murphy. So right now we have Murphy at the Home Depot. We're about to take him on his first public excursion. So Murphy is here for pretty extreme human aggression reactivity issues. He has a really hard time controlling himself in the presence of people, lots of lunging, barking, trying to bite, things like that. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be taking him through the store here, and I'm gonna be showing you guys how I go about bringing a new dog into a public place like this for the first time, the things I'm looking for, the things that I'm correcting for, how I'm correcting for those things, and just in general, how I make a trip like this successful. So given the fact that he has a lot of issues and this is his first time coming to a place like this, right when I go in, I'm gonna be focused on two things. The first thing being that he's minding his own business. So what does that look like? It looks like no sniffing. I don't want him nosing over towards things. And ultimately, that's gonna be the first thing that I'm looking to correct for. So I'm gonna be marking with a no and giving a tap on the e-collar at a high enough level that he's breaking his attention off of those things, essentially, right? So as soon as I walk in, that's what I'm looking for. Where is the nose going? Is it dropping to the ground? Is it going towards people, things, stuff like that? Now, the second thing is I'm gonna be looking to get him into as quiet of an area as possible initially. So I wanna give him some time to acclimate to the new environment. So as soon as I walk in, I'm gonna go all the way into the back aisles, and I'm gonna work him a little bit back there, start tightening up my heeling, then we'll start going into the more populated areas. Now you can tell already, very just kind of scanny and stuff. He's looking around. You can see the ears are forward, and he's not doing anything yet, but the attention is not where I want it to be right off the rip. See how he's kind of pulling around and stuff. So, like I said, we've taught the heeling already. We've taught the sits out and about already. So I'm gonna be holding him accountable fairly firmly for this kind of stuff initially, right? And what does that look like? Again, marking with no, giving corrections with my e-collar as I'm doing this for things that I don't want him to do. Because I've spent the time conditioning in the e-collar with the heeling, and because I've spent the time working on this in a fairly neutral environment, so in the shop, you know, in the immediate area around there, it should be pretty understood as soon as I give those corrections to reel it back in and get back into that position that he already knows how to do. So we're gonna get started here. We're gonna start walking in, and you'll be watching for any of the things that I'm gonna be correcting for. Anytime you hear me say no, know that I'm gonna be tapping the e-collar at the same time as I'm doing that to be able to give that consequence for those things. So we're gonna get started. So walking in, maintaining a relatively okay heel position. Again, right off the rip, I'm looking for any sort of sniffing around here, any sort of scanning that I don't want, things like that. No. So first correction, forging a little too far ahead, marking with no, giving my tap on the e-collar there. We have somebody that's gonna be walking out here, no. So giving my correction for that as well, making sure that he's staying nice and focused on what I want him to do here. Come. Now these are all things, keep in mind, that would normally set this dog off into a really display, you know, pretty big display of aggression here. So I'm making sure that I'm correcting firmly enough where he realizes he cannot do those things. No. Again, any sniffing, looking around, you see really, no. Really trying as hard as he can to not do those things, but still acting on that impulse, and I'm going right off the rip and I'm addressing those things. Now again, walking into a little quieter of an area right off the rip here, making sure that he's staying nice and focused. And right now I'm being a little bit looser about the heeling, even though he's forging a little bit here and there. My primary focus right now is the attention and keeping that attention on me, no, and not on the things that he's trying to sniff at. And we're really low on the e-collar still right now. We're at a 13 out of 100, which is pretty much lower than what a human would even be able to feel, but we're going off what the dog is giving us. So this is enough right now where it's breaking that fixation. For other dogs, this might be a 70, this might be a 60, I don't know, you know? We go off of what they're giving us and we make sure that we address accordingly and we adjust accordingly based on that. And you see the head just kind of bobbing up and down as he's kind of fighting that impulse to not try to sniff things. And this is the hardest part for them right off the rip, is just getting them nice and focused in these environments. And I'm not worried about sits or downs or staying or anything like that until I get him essentially minding his own business here. And notice I'm staying loose on the leash. I'm not physically restraining him or anything. I'm just making sure that he's staying nice and attentive. Sit. Good boy. So far so good, doing a really good job here right off the rip, keeping his attention on me. Again, a couple of corrections for that sniffing and stuff, but the first session is always the hardest with stuff like this. He's going into a completely new environment, and this is an environment that his owners would not be able to typically take him into because of his behavior. Again, you guys have seen those before videos of how he reacts already. So the hardest part is the first time getting them immersed into this environment and fighting that impulse they have. I need to check this out, and I need to check this out, and I need to do this, because every time they get themselves into that state of mind where they start acting impulsively on all of those things, that's when they get a step closer to the reactivity and the aggression that we're typically used to seeing. So what we're doing is we're telling him, you don't need to worry about those things. I'm gonna handle those things for you, and I need you to mind your own business right now so that you can stay nice and focused on me. So we're gonna keep walking around a little more and looking for some more distractions. Come. How's it going? Doing good as we're getting closer to people, just kind of easing him into that. There's no rush the first time you come somewhere like this to go through all the main aisles and to pass all the people and stuff. Work at the dog's pace. As you start to trust them, as they start to do better with ignoring these things from a distance, then we'll start to close that gap a little bit more. So now that he's walking pretty nicely with me here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to add some sits into this. Same deal, something that we've already conditioned the e-collar in with. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be walking here. I'm gonna be coming to stops, giving my sit command and giving him an opportunity to do it. If he does not do it, I'll be marking with no and giving my correction all the same. Sit. Good. Once he stabilizes, come. I'll give him my come and I'll start walking again. Sit. Good boy. Come. Sit. Good job, buddy. Come. Sit. Now, like we talked about earlier, the only time I'm going to be using the e-collar right now is if you hear me mark with no. Come. Sit. Good boy. Come. Sit. Good. Good boy. Come. Now, same deal, a little tight of a corridor right there that I probably could have went through, but we're giving him some time, we're working him through it and letting him build on success here. So I'm choosing to go around that option and go into a back aisle to get around the crowd a little bit more. Thank you. Oh yeah? They're cool. Come. Oh yeah. All right, so we purposely wanted to make this video because a lot of the videos that we post are of more finished dogs. They're dogs that have been through the program already. They're dogs that are essentially perfect at this now. And we wanted to detail a little bit more of the process of how we get to these things, right? Because these are the steps that owners need to be able to do at home if they're gonna be successful, right? First time ever in a new place like this, in a place that he typically would be used to reacting out quite a bit in, and we were able to keep him under control because of the specific things that we looked for and the specific things that we did the first time that we did this. Now, you'll find that the next time we go to do this, or the time after, will be dramatically easier, far less corrections. He's gonna start to understand that boundary of where we want him to be even more, and because of that, it's gonna get smoother and smoother and smoother. So, this is a real life example of what the first session would look like, and it's a real life example of how we go about addressing those things start to finish. So hope you enjoy it. Again, as always, if you have any questions, hit them up in the comments below. If not, look forward to our next video.